It's me, Moody Boo, the Fragrant Nomad, and I am back with a double single perfume review, and they're both from the house of Navitus, and this is Serenade and Imperial. And look at these bottles. Now this is a good representation of the differences between the bottles. This is kind of the old style, and I don't know if they're going to continue selling this style, and this is more the new style. It's a little more thick as opposed to this one, and shorter, but they both carry 100 ml. I'm not sure which one I like better. I think I like these better because they take up less space on my shelf. These ones I have to usually turn sideways to get all the perfumes on there that I want. So, but that's really nitpicking. As you can hear, my air conditioner is on. It's in the 80s out there today. Of course, it rained and poured and stormed just a couple days ago when we celebrated our 32nd anniversary, my husband and I. But today, when he's at work and I'm off, it's beautiful. Yeah, love that. So anyway, and we're going to be going on vacation in the near future. And I'm going to bring a bunch of perfume with me because we're not flying. We're driving. We've rented a house, I think I've told you probably more than once, on the coast on one of the San Juan Islands with a whole bunch of oceanfront beach, you know, but it's not really beach on the San Juan Islands. It's more like rocky, pebbly, tide pooly kind of shores. So, as everybody probably knows that's ever watched any of my videos, I'm a big fan of Navitus. I love the concept of, you know, YouTubers, frag heads, being invited to create a couple of perfumes for the house. I think that's a wonderful idea. And I really love seeing the different aspects that people interpret perfume. And how it comes out in a final product like these two. Now, these are by two different creators. I think this one's by Steven, Redolescence. And I can't remember who Serenade is by. I apologize for that. I can see his face. Handsome guy. And I can't see his name. Cerebral flatulence with age kicks in again. So anyway, these are really two, you can tell two different creative directors were in charge of them because they are different spectrums of the fragrance world, in my opinion. This one is strong and potent. It's a little abrasive. This one, all the edges are nice and rounded, very smooth. It's much more versatile. This one would be, I think, more appealing to softer personalities. People that want to get noticed, but not so much to be the center of attention. Whereas this one is announcing itself as you walk into the room. It's like, yeah, move on over. I'm here. Crisis averted. I have arrived, so now we can continue with whatever we were doing. So that's kind of the impressions that I get with these two. Really opposite ends. They're both sweet to a degree, but they are so different, so different. I'll start with Imperial. With Imperial, I get this softness, sweetness. It's a hint gourmand. It's almondy, in my opinion. That's the biggest takeaway I get from this perfume is this sweet, powdery kind of almond, without it going into the baby powder arena. It stays out of there. It's a mature, powdery, sweet almond kind of a perfume. Now the notes are orange, plum, cacao pod, tonka bean, suede, birch tar, gaiac, and vetiver. And most people on Fragrantica voted that the orange and the cacao are the most prominent notes. I disagree. I think the almond is equal parts with the orange and the cacao. And I think the cacao is what's given it that powderiness. I don't think it's the tonka bean, to be really honest with you. This doesn't have this, you can, when you smell the tonka bean, you can tell it's much more rich and chewy than powdery. So that's what leads me to believe that it's the cacao that's causing the powdery. And usually I don't care for powdery. A hint of it is okay, like with this. There's a hint of powderiness in it, and that's okay. Any more than what this contains, though, it would start to turn me off. There's also kind of this jammy kind of plum in there, but it's lighter. It melds really well with the orange, and the orange is sweet. It's not a bitter orange. That you almost smell this fruit compote kind of underlying fruitiness that's in there. But for me, it's really, really about the fruits, the cacao, and the tonka bean. I don't really get suede or gaiac or birch tar. They may be in there because you can tell that there's a really good solid foundation to all of these gourmandy, fruity kind of notes. But I can't really identify specific notes per se, other than that almond. That one really stands out to me. I do think this is a tick or two on the feminine side. I think a lot of I thinks. We all know what I think. I do find sweet, powdery almond perfumes to feel a little more feminine to me. I think it goes back to when I was a kid, not just baby powder. This doesn't smell like baby powder, I'm saying, but when you buy a perfume, you got powder with it. So when I was growing up, I associated powder with many of the perfumes because my mom wouldn't let me have the perfume, but she'd let me have the powder when I was a little kid. And so I just associate that, you know, with the baby powder, kind of, you know, visual in my head. Not that it smells that way, again. And just that perfume powder that always came with, you know, Avon perfumes and drugstore perfumes back in the day. It just feels a little more feminine to me. Not that it wouldn't appeal to masculine personalities. I think more, though, that they would appreciate it if they are with a feminine type person, but instead of wearing it themselves. Oh, it's really nice. It's a little intimate. So the performance really surprised me for a Navitus, because I don't think I have a Navitus that isn't either beast mode or excellent performer. This one is good, but because it isn't a beast mode or anything, it makes it much more versatile. This one I think can be worn day or night because it's not too powdery, it's not too sweet or anything like that. I think that it'd be just perfect during the day to work or daytime activities. It's not going to offend anybody, and it may attract them. But again, it's one of those perfumes that you may want to get noticed, but you don't want to be the center of attention. And as far as the longevity, not outstanding. It's like 6-7 hours is what I get with 2 sprays. Would I care? Do I care? Would I want it to be more than that? I don't know. Because this, like I said, is a daytime perfume for me. And so I don't really want them to last a really long time, because when I get home, I want to put on something else. Oh, and good news. I figured out a way of wearing perfume to work without triggering anybody. I just take a dab of it on my finger. I spray it on my finger, and then I rub a little bit on the inside of my mask. So then I get to enjoy perfume all day long and not smell hand sanitizer and rubbing alcohol all day, because that's what I smell all day. So now I just take a little perfume, rub it on the inside of my mask. Not enough to where anybody could smell it on the outside of my mask, but enough for me to enjoy it I'm really excited. So now I'm back to testing perfumes during the day. So there you go. Price is mid-range, but Navitus, another thing I love about them, they have a lot of sales. Now you can get some of these perfumes on discount websites, but I don't really see the need for that. I would go straight to Navitus because, I mean, they almost always have some kind of a sale going on, whether that's, you know, a huge discount for when you buy more than one, or they're just having some holiday sale. They tend to last longer than a couple of days. They'll last, you know, a week or something I've seen. So I would just buy straight from Navitus personally. And they ship really quickly too. And again, their sprayers are really good. Very fine mist kind of sprayer. Sweet, not too sweet. Gourmand, but not too gourmand. Fruity, but not over the top. Powdery, but just a hint. Really beautiful perfume, and I love that I have it in my collection. So now let's move over to the other side of the spectrum and talk about Serenade. If Imperial is a soft, feminine, powdery, delicate beauty, well, this is an extreme nasty bitch. I ain't even lying. Opposite sides. This one, like I've said before, took a second wearing before I really started to love it. The first time I sprayed it, because I blind bought them, both. The first time I sprayed it, I was like, whoa, this is harsh. I don't think I like it. Moving on. And I put it down for a couple days, went back, sprayed it again. And I was sitting there, it was like after 2 hours of wearing it the second time, I was like, what is that smell? I am in love. And then I realized, because I was testing more than one perfume, it was Serenade. And let me tell you, it was out competing everything else that I was sampling at that time. Oh. It's a strange one. And there is another perfume it's trying to remind me of, but it's not coming to me. But that doesn't mean that it isn't incredibly unique. Just because there's another perfume out there that's, I'm trying to recollect that it does remind me of, if I think of it, I'll do a comparison because I'm sure I own it. It's still incredibly unique. Now, this one I would say is a tick or two on the masculine side, but still within that unisex mid-range. Again, mid-range for price as well. Again, good sprayer. This one, the notes are dark chocolate, cognac, orange blossom, honey, beeswax, sandalwood, tonka bean, vetiver, musk, patchouli, and Virginia cedar. And a lot of people say the honey, the chocolate, and the booze are the boozy notes, the cognac, are the most predominant. The cognac is strong, for sure. There's no carnality to this, though, in my opinion. That honey can add that animalic kind of, just, I just find honey, for the most part, adds this hint of sexy to it because of that animalic type vibe it gives off. This one is a total honey you'd find in the little plastic bear in your kitchen cabinet. There's no rawness to it. This is a refined honey. So I feel like all of that animalic has been taken out of it. And same with the beeswax. Neither one of those add any sexy to the perfume. But that doesn't mean there isn't some sexy to it. It's just not coming from the honey, I don't think, in my opinion. But I don't think honey is that predominant of a note, and everybody else says that it is. So it's intriguing. This is a very intriguing perfume. It's very mysterious almost. It has this vibe like I would picture a dark, mysterious sexy, good looking figure kind of wearing it. That's what I picture with Serenade. There is just this dark mystery to it. For me, this is about the dark chocolate, the cognac, the woods, and the patchouli. Maybe a hint of musk. Maybe a hint of the florals and a hint of some of the other notes. But basically, the dark chocolate, the cognac, the woods, and the patchouli. So this one is not refined, in my opinion. This one has edges. Some of them so sharp, might cut you. So careful when you wear it. I would only do 2 sprays max. I think this perfume will appeal to masculine personalities more, but I think feminine personalities will adore it on their significant others. Me personally, I like that mid-range unisex territory, even if it goes more on the masculine side. Serenade makes me feel powerful, whereas Imperial makes me feel soft, feminine, a little delicate, which a woman that's my size, you know, I used to be 5'9", now I'm 5'8", and I'm built like a frickin' redwood forest. So for me to feel delicate at all is pretty amazing. So that's one thing that I really love about this one. But Serenade, opposite sides of the scale, makes me feel powerful. And I love that. Because I'll tell you, the older I get, my confidence in some areas when I'm out in public has diminished. I used to walk into a room, start up conversations with anybody that I thought looked interesting. And now it's like I just don't do that much anymore unless I got my confidence on board. The performance on this is way different than Imperial. 2 sprays, easily I get 8-9 hours. It projects well. It could be a nose rocket, it could be beastly. That's why I would stick with 2 sprays no matter what time of year it is, until you know how well it's going to perform in your climb. It projects out probably 4 or 5 feet with 2 sprays for the first hour or so, and then comes into a little past arm's length right in there, and stays there for quite some time before it comes a little closer and then just poofs out. So this one though, I think is more cold weather. I really do. I think this one would almost be too much for hotter temperatures. Whereas Imperial, it could almost be year round because it isn't too sweet, it isn't too powdery, it isn't This one though can be intense. So I would save that for the time of year when you wear your intense perfumes as well. So I guess that's about it for Navitus, Imperial, and Serenade. And I'll be back soon. By the time this one posts though, I don't know, we may be close to getting back from our trip. And then I'll start posting, if I can record in Nazarene, Lullaby, and then I'm gonna go to the mall there downtown Seattle. And somebody said that actually the Nordstrom's there has some pretty good perfumes that I should check out. And you got to understand, the Nordstrom here, I just went to it in my town. Our perfume selection is pitiful. I bought a couple of Jo Malone's that I was crazy about. One is the Salted Amber, and the other one is Scarlet Poppy. I really, really love those. I almost bought a couple of Maison Margielas because they're carrying them now as well. And there was something else I was looking at. Can't remember what it is. But I didn't want to spend too much money there because I'm probably going to spend some money in Seattle. I can't imagine that I'm not going to drop $1,000 there pretty easy. So, and I'm so excited. And yeah, and I'll give you a tour of the house that we rented and show you our oceanfront house. Super excited. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, bringing our dog, so that'll be fun. And yeah, so we'll talk to you soon. You take care. I appreciate you being here. And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and comment if you want. If you don't, it's all good. I still love you. And use your own nose. Peace.